Welcome back to the hyperbolic coding chamber. It is day 182. Unfortunately, nah. Today's session is very difficult. I'm not exactly certain why. Actually, I'm pretty certain why. I think the brain just be like that sometimes. So I think it's just gonna be one of those days where it's just a little difficult to get started, but hopefully we can power through. I don't think we're going to do a full 1 hour session today. I think we're going to do something a little bit shorter. I haven't been getting as much sleep recently, so I think it's going to have to be a necessary evil, unfortunately. So I think, today's session is going to be slightly shorter, and it does seem like things are going well. I think the last 15 or 16 weeks, not 15 or 16, the last 12 days, we've been doing like 2 hours a day of both LeetCode and game dev, and the game has been going really well. And other thing with that has been the LeetCode has been going very well as well, so progress has been very, very nice. I think it just goes to show that you do need a session that's long enough to go into deeper thinking or work states, but yeah, I think that's like very, very, very important. I mean, I'm pretty sure tons of other people have talked about that, but yeah, it seems like very, very necessary to have enough time to go deep enough to the problem to osmosis the great, or I guess tune my neurons to the problem, the specifics of the problem that led me to the solution. Maybe it's a particular word or a phrase like maximum or increasing. And yeah, it just seems to be a necessary need. So fortunately, we do have some very, very epic comments to distract ourselves with before our deathly session. And let's take a look at them. So we have a comment from Mike Brown with an actually very interesting profile picture. Could be made using Lensa. Not sure how I got to your video, but I really need to hear opening monologue about homeostasis and happiness. Thanks for sharing. Hey, feel strong, man. Finding relief. Oh, that was, wait, what day was that? Was that yesterday? Okay, feel strong, man. So yeah, I guess that's the thing with the everyday thing. At least, hopefully the whole corpus will speak for itself, because I don't have a ton to say today because my brain is absolutely fried. It seems to be a cliff. If I experience too much stimulation, then I mean, even with the homeostasis thing we talked about yesterday, or was it 2 days ago, you experience a great rise, and there has to be a down regulation to reach homeostasis. So I'm pretty sure that's what today is. So I think I'm just feeling pretty mellow, and I think it should just be like that. I'm pretty sure I'm at regular baseline, but I think the delta between where I was yesterday and where I am today, it makes it feel like it's not a baseline. It's worse than that. And I think delta just be like that sometimes. Maybe it's kind of like how people who are like have $20 million in the bank and they lose like 5 mil and they feel like they're broke now. And it's not that they're actually broke. It's just that the difference, seeing the difference or seeing the descent, I guess the difference between where one was previously and where they are is just can be quite shocking. So yeah, hey, feels strong, man. Needed this. Keep on cooking up a storm. And we have a comment from Tree Stars. I'm pretty proud of myself since I got the maximum difference between increasing elements problem in linear time. Maximum difference. Oh, that's the two-sum. All right, I mean not two-sum. Best time to buy and sell stock reword. Granted, I had just done the buy and sell stock question yesterday, but still, both those questions seem like pretty much a straight application of Condain's algorithm. True. I think the Wikipedia article for Condain's is definitely worth the read. Seamus described the one-dimensional problem in its history at a Carnegie Mellon University seminar attended by Jay Condain, who designed within a minute linear time algorithm. True. True. That does seem like an anime CS moment. True. Wait, should we start working? Should we start workshopping a CS anime? eyes? True though. That is actually true. That is pretty funny. That is actually true. Yeah, the thing is, I haven't done buy, and I think I haven't done buy and sell stock in literally forever. But I think it just goes to show how interesting, how much RNG there is. Because I remember I was reading something on Blind, and for every single, not every single post, but maybe it was just survivor's bias. But I would read a post on Blind about how someone fried an Amazon interview, or they fried a Google interview, and then it turned out, I mean, they're just keeping it 1,000 in the post. They're just like, yeah, I actually just did this problem last week, or it's crazy because I was just doing that problem last night, or it was a problem I had done recently. It's actually crazy how often it comes up, but I don't think it's that much luck, because I mean, I'm sure there's a small percentage of people who they got in and they had just done the problem, right? But even then, having the function of I just did the problem can also be a function of work ethic. So if you've done literally a ton of problems, just seeing the problem and then solving it in the interview is not like a bad thing at all. It's just like, yeah, you kind of like solved enough problems to see every permutation of it. It's a lot like chess or football or soccer. I mean, you can watch any of the great games from the past, and then if any of those scenarios, you can watch the great games from the past, and they've already been solved by the best. So if you remember that and you do some pattern matching and you know how to solve it, it's not a bad thing. It just means that you showed up and now you have the pattern matching skills to match. So I think that's pretty cool. That is pretty epic. I think it also shows the potential. Okay, I'm about to go on a crazy rant. I think it also shows the potential. Maybe sometimes the RNG of training, because you might tie these two problems together in a new way. If we think of like neurons and weighting that edge between the two neurons, it's very interesting that can be one way someone can have an edge on someone else. And it ties into other stuff too, with like I think it's schizophrenia, but I don't want to missay it. But I think there was someone who describes schizophrenia as like a clanging of like patterns, like just a noise you hear might remind you of something else, which ties to another association, which ties to another association, and it really leads to like a really non-linearity of thinking. But a lot of the people with those who end up with those things tend to have a lot of pretty like interesting ideas, or really interesting ways of seeing things, just because of how many things touch each other. And we see even across the board with the internet how much like liquid pools of random stuff mixing together, from me to the comments to like people making all sorts of stuff. The internet is just one big melting pot, and it's just a jaw-dropping implementation to witness, at least. So that's a pretty cool comment. And then we have Canaldi Itor. Wait, a legendary sub. Let's go. Hey, congrats for the journey and keep it up. Could you share how much do you think you have improved since you started the challenge? And if you are noticing the benefits on your daily job or any kind of related activity? Thank you. Thank you. I will. Actually, I will make another video about this. Or, you know what, maybe I should just start cutting up what I say in the beginning. So, and if you are noticing the benefits of your daily job or any other kind of related activity. Yeah, I think I definitely could have a lot to talk about with that. But I will save for another separate video, if you don't mind, heart. But yeah, we haven't done too many problems. We've mostly done easies, which is there's a lot to be desired there. So hopefully we can get through all those, and then we go through all the mediums, and then we'll finally be done. But yeah, today is slightly difficult, so I'm going to try my best to do a session that is respectable. So we're going to do 37 minutes. And I think that's about all I have in the tank today, unfortunately. We've been doing 1 hour every day, as well, 1 hour of game dev. And yeah, it's been definitely tougher, and I haven't been fixing my sleep, so we've been kind of bending over. So I think tomorrow we should be able to get back to 1 hour a day and make it make sense. So I'm going to jump. Oh yeah, also, make sure to join the Discord, and also I will try and make a separate video for that instance. If I don't remember, please remind me. And yeah, I would like to make a separate video for that. That could be pretty cool. And yeah, so that would be ideal, I believe. So yeah, so I think we're gonna try and jump into the session. I don't think we're stuck. Oh yeah, no, we wrote a solution to a problem, but LeetCode was bugged out. LeetCode, I believe, was bugged out. So let me just check real quick to make sure. Oh no. Let me just make sure. Okay, right. So this is the problem we're working on, but I think LeetCode is down, so we stopped a little early, but I think we made sure that it worked. Okay, we were wrong then. I think we're right, actually. We might just have a solution, a place where we're not. I don't know why. I guess that string out there actually doesn't matter. I have plus equal node to string. What I actually mean is node.val to string. Okay, there we go. So, okay, our solution was actually fine then. Nice. So it's kind of cool that we knew it worked before we submitted it. Oh wait, I forgot to switch over. That won't happen again. But this was the problem we were working on yesterday. I forgot. It had a lot of dislikes for some reason, but it actually wasn't too bad of a problem. This paragraph block here that they made was kind of confusing, but I think we'll keep moving. We have increasing, decreasing string. You are given a string S. Reorder that string using the following algorithm. Pick the smallest character from S and append it to the result. Pick the smallest character from S which is greater than the last appended character to result and append it. Repeat step 2 until you cannot pick more characters. Pick the largest character from S and append it to the result. Pick the largest character from S. Pick the largest character from S and append it to the result. Pick the largest character from S, which is smaller than the last appended character. Largest character from S, which is smaller than the last. Repeat step 5 until you cannot pick more characters. Read the steps 1 to 6 until you pick all the characters from S. In each step, if the smallest or the largest character appears more than once, you can choose any occurrence. This is a strange problem. I'm not sure why they made this problem. You're given a string S, reorder the string using the following algorithm. Pick the smallest character from S and append it to the result. Maybe we should just do what it tells us. But the problem is called sort string. S is given to us like this. You are given a string S, reorder the string using the following algorithm. Pick the smallest character from S and append it to the result. Okay, maybe we'll just do that. Pick the smallest character from S, which is greater than... We're gonna skip this problem. This problem seems very nutty, and we don't have the time for that one today. Wow, a lot of the problems that we have now are like very... Oh wait, did we solve this one already? Wait, what is going on? I think I need to make sure. Alright, let's just accept the fate. We're going to do this one. Increasing, decreasing string. You are given a string S. Reorder the string S using the following algorithm. Pick the smallest character from S. Smallest character from S is A. Append it to the result. Okay. A. Pick the smallest character from S, which is greater than the last appended character to the result, and add it. So we'd add A, B, C. Repeat step 2 until you cannot pick more characters. Pick the largest character from S and append it to the result. Then we have C. Pick the largest character from S, which is smaller than the last appended character to the result, and append it. So A, B, C, C, B, A. So they want us to do A, B, C, C, B, A. A, B, C, C, B, A. And then we have RAT. It's not as simple as the order though, because you still have to sort the characters. If we sort the characters, we get ART, and we can just do ART. So we can't have 3 buckets because there could be more than a specific amount of buckets. This consists of only lowercase English letters. Maybe we could just throw this all into a map and we'll just keep iterating over the map, and we'll just go A. We'll just go through the first way, right? A, B, C, right? And then we'll go in reverse, and then we'll keep going while the string has characters in it. So to do that, we create a new map of string to actually we can just make it a number for count, and we're just going to go through each car of S. We'll say value is going to equal, if the map has a character, right, we're going to get the occurrence for that character. Otherwise, we're just going to make it 0, and the map will say we're going to set car equal to value plus 1. Once we set it to value plus 1, we have the map of strings to characters. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to say while. Oh, right, and the other issue we have, no, we can just iterate from 0 to 26. So, you know what we'll do? We'll say total cars is equal to s.length, and we'll say while all the characters haven't been used yet, and we can actually just use this. No, it'll be easier to use a string. All total cars does not equal 0. Right, we're going to run this, and then we can return result, which we'll place here. Is just going to be an empty string that we're going to append to. And then from here, we're just going to do exactly what they said. We're just going to go forward and then backwards. So we're going to let I equal to 0. I is less than. We're actually going to map the character to its uppercase version, to uppercase. Why is this unacceptable? Especially if you smoke or have other risk factors. Nexplanon doesn't protect against HIV or STDs. So ask for yourself. Ask your doctor for Nexplanon. We'll change this to the cased character. And this is just because actually we could have just started it. Actually, we don't have to make it case at all. We can just start at where the lowercase letter is. That way, and then we'll go up to 26. Right, I plus plus. And what we'll do is we need to get the character, right? So we can say const character is going to be equal to string dot from car code, and then we can do 26. I think the ASCII character where lowercase a starts would be 64 plus 26, which would give you 90. And we can check that really quick if we comment this out and just do console.log string from car code. We'll do 90, and hopefully we get we got Z, so it looks like it's 91, but we should get lowercase a. Okay, we don't get lowercase a. Is 64 lowercase a? Or I guess it might be 65. So, you know what? We're going to do what we did earlier, and we're just going to do the case thing, and that way we can... and then we should be good there. Right, and now we can do string from car code, right? And we can delete this. 65 is going to be where A starts, so we can just put 65. Right, and we can say 65 plus I, and that's going to give us I equaling 0 is going to mean don't move anything away from uppercase A. And then from here, all we should have to do is check if map.getCar, right, which will give us the occurrence of the character, is greater than 0. We're just going to do result dot plus equal car. This just gives the characters sorted. And then we just have to go in reverse. Now we're going to start at 25. No, 26. I is greater than or equal to 0. We'll do I minus minus. And then we'll do the same thing here. And I think this should work. Or maybe not. Oh, and we should say, right, this never ends, I think. If we push something onto the car, we should set it to the map.get of car minus 1. And if we actually also do choose something, we should say total cars minus equal 1. Then we'll say total cars minus equal 1. So let's say we got the right answer, but the characters that we produce are uppercase. So we'll change this to lowercase. That was a strange, very, very strange problem. Yeah, but to be fair, I think they could have just explained it in a less cryptic way. I think it would have gotten less downvotes. But it's a cool problem. And time complexity of this. There's definitely probably a way to do this in doing at least linear time. We're taking up at least constant space because we're going to use all lowercase letters for the set, which means we will at most take up 26 indices. From there, we're counting up 26 times each time. It gives us 26 max iterations, and at most this could happen is n times. So it'd be n times 26, which is basically n. So I would say linear time. Linear time to set up the set, and then also linear time to go through the characters.
Irresistibly smooth chocolate from the Lindt Master Chocolatier.
I wonder if anyone came up with a simpler this person did the same thing, so I think we'll say that it's good enough. And we'll move to the next one. Should be 1560 most visited sector in a circular track. So given an integer n, given an integer n and an integer array rounds, given an integer n and an integer array rounds, we have a circular track which consists of n sectors. We have a circular track which consists of n sectors. An integer n and an integer array rounds. Okay. We have a circular track which consists of n sectors labeled from 1 to n. A marathon will be held on this track. The marathon consists of m rounds. I guess we're not given m. The ith round starts at sector round sub I minus 1. Okay. It ends at sector round sub I. For example, round 1 starts at round sub 0 and ends at rounds sub 1. So it's really a tuple of starting and ending times of. So rounds is like a array of tuples for, no, not tuples. They just start, and it's like an array of pairs basically. But pairs implies that there are only 2 pairs, whereas for pairs for nodes 1, 2, and 3, you could have pairs like 1, 2, and 2, 3. For example, round 1 starts at sector round 0 and ends at sector rounds 1. Return an array of the most visited sectors sorted in ascending order. And integer array rounds. Circular tracks of n sectors from an n. A marathon will be held on this track. The marathon consists of m rounds. The ith round starts at sector round sub I minus 1 and ends at sector round sub I. For example, round sub 1. Round 1 starts at sector round sub 0 and ends at sector round sub 1. Return an array of the most visited sectors sorted in ascending order. Notice that you circulate the track in ascending order of sector numbers. So there are 4 rounds, so the cube has 4 sectors. And then we have 1, 2, 3 rounds. First round starts at round 1, ends at round 3. The next round starts at round 3 and ends at round 1. And the next round starts at round 1 and at round 2. The most visited sector.
Find the right words, and there's no way this is real life. There's no telling you're the right girl, so I can only say that it feels right. It feels right. It feels right. Yeah, I can only say that.
So n is the number of sectors. Okay, I think we could do this. It seems like all we have to do is take rounds and treat it like a circular array. And then when we have a number, we start at that round. For example, we start at round 1. We'd increment, I would count 1. We'd add 1 as a visited sector, then 2 as a visited sector, then 3 as a visited sector, right? Now we equal 3. Right, now we want to go to the next indice. So probably always check one element ahead. We'll add those to a map which keeps track of sectors to visited, the sectors and how many often they are visited, and then from 3 we can just do 3 plus 1. Right, we get to sector 4, and then we can do 4 mod. We can do 4 mod 4 plus 1. We do 4 mod 4, we get 0 plus 1, we get off. So I think we can just do some special counting, and maybe we can cheat a little bit. We can create a function, just wrap a. Actually, no. What if we had a clever use for a closure here? And we could declare it here, and we'll just say, call it increment sector, and it'll just return if n equals, what sector do you start at? Oh, well, you start at round sub 1. Basically, we need a variable denoting the sector. So we'll say sector per sector equals round sub 0. And actually, we can just do that out here like this. And maybe it doesn't have to return anything now that I'm realizing it. Cur sector equals round sub 0. We'll say if cur sector equals n, right? Then we want to set it back to 0. Otherwise, we would just want to say cur sector plus. Cur sector is equal to n. And we can just say increment sector. From here, we're just going to need a new map of number to number, which is going to map the sector to how many times it was visited. Then we'll say let I, right, equals 0. I is less than rounds dot length minus 1. I plus plus. And then from here, all we should have to do is just count up. So we can say while cur sector does not equal round sub I plus 1, we'll say map.set cur sector, right, equal to map.get cur sector. Oh, we have to do this thing where we do value. We can do it like this to start that one, so we can skip that part. Actually, we don't have to, I think. We can just say const I is going to be equal to if the map has the count for that sector, right? Then we're going to get the count for that sector. Otherwise, we'll say 0. We can say map.set cur sector to value plus 1. And then we can say increment sector, which is kind of nutty because we're not really saving any space by making this a closure, so we can just copy and paste that.
My biggest concern
Turn empty array for now, and then I'm gonna print the map. But I feel like this should work. Cur sector is gonna start at 1, right? 1 does not equal 3, so we're gonna get the value, right, that cur sector has. It doesn't have it, so we're just gonna get 0, and then we're gonna set sector 1 equal to 1 visit, right? And then we're going to increment cur sector to 2. 2 is not 3. We do the same thing. Now we set it to 3.
Learn more at BotoxCosmetic.com.
And we would be out right with visits to 1 and 2. We didn't set anything to 3, but fortunately we go to the next index and now we'll be at 3, right? And 3 does not equal 1, so we're going to set 3 as 1 visit. So I think this should work. And then we should just have to sort it. We should just have to keep track of the most sector visits. And we should have 1 and 2 tied. Oh.
Make your fairy tale workplace a reality with HR software from UK.
Oh, I think the issue, we want to set it back to sector 1 because sector 0 doesn't exist. And we should have 1 and something's off here. We should be tied for 2, but we're not. So I guess let's go through this to see what's happening. Cur sector is equal to 1, right? We're gonna say while it doesn't equal 3, so we're gonna get the value of 1. We don't have it, so we have 0. We set 1 to 1 visit. Then we go to 2. 2 does not equal 3. We set 2 to 1 visit. And then 2 doesn't equal 4, so we go to 3. 3 does equal 3, so we don't do anything. And then we go to I. And I think I see that. Yeah, we'd go to I. We go to the next index, basically. Because we'd be done. And we'll say, does 3 not equal 3? I mean, 3 does not equal 1. We don't have a visit for 3, so we set 3 to 1. Three to 1. So yeah, 3 does not equal 4. I mean, 3 does not equal 1, so we set 3. We check if we have a count for 3. We don't. We set it to 1, and then we would say 3 does not equal 4. So we say curse sector plus equals 1 to 4. 4 does not equal 1, and we don't have a value for it, so we'll set it equal to 1, and then 4 equals 4, so we set it equal to 1. So 1 does equal 1. We stop and go to the next indice. Now does 1 equal 2? It does not. So we get the value of 1. And then we add 1 to it. 1 does not equal 4, so we add. So 1 ends up having 2 visits, and 2 ends up only having 1 visit, and I think that's because of that last value. I think we have to do 1 last loop at the end. While curse sector does not equal round sub rounds dot length minus 1, which would be the last element. I guess it depends, right? If curse sector equals round sub rounds dot length minus 1, then we just want to say map dot set curse sector we just need to add 1 more to it. Or if we haven't reached the end, then we want to continue running the loop 1 last time to pretty much finish.
Current eligible Cadillac lessees get this low mileage lease on this 2023 Cadillac XT4 for around $379 per month.
Hi, Aaron. Can you pick up 10 $500 gift cards for the office bonuses and email back the PIN numbers?
The expected answer is all the numbers, basically. Okay, so I think it's good now. So we just set max visits, or set most visits to negative infinity. And after in here, we'll just always set most visits equal to the math.max of most visits and value plus equal 1. And then we'll need 1 more in here. It's kind of nutty because we could get a most visits in here too, and maybe we should just do. This kind of sucks, but I think it's just cleaner if we just put it out here and just do 2 iterations through, so we can do sector visits of map. We'll say most visits equals math.x of most visits and visits, and then do again, and this will be our output. We'll say if visits equal most visits, output dot push sector. Did we miss the sorted in ascending order part? I think so. So I guess we'll just do output sort. I'm not exactly certain why output is not being sorted. Do output.sort. So maybe, I don't think you usually have to say explicitly. I guess we'll just put the comparator anyway. I don't remember having to do that though, but so the time complexity is probably crazy. So I don't know what you would count us having to. I think we do as many iterations through as there are starting sectors. From 1 to 3, 3 to 1 is 1 iteration. The number of operations we would do, I think, would be very closely tied to that. So we would count from one, we would count from 1 to n as many times as there are the first sector in the array. But I'm not exactly certain what that is. Worst case, we could have an array of all of the first sector, which means we would do n squared operations, where n is literally the number n that they've added, the number of sectors. Then we have to sort those sectors. So I would say it's n plus n log n, but I don't really know.
Making, fast reacting, quick thinking, smooth streaming.
Dude, this is an n. So I think we'll stop there for today.